full. I'll take that. Well, plenty of networking. Well, we get to introduce you guys to one of the greatest breakthrough coaches that I know. I've traveled with her since last year, and I've been able to get to know her very well. She's very passionate in what she does. So she was born in Idaho. She actually does a lot of work overseas. She's the CEO and founder of Unsilenced Voices, a nonprofit organization which eradicating domestic violence, sexual, gender-based violence worldwide. It's pretty cool to see a lot of her pictures that she does over in Africa, and she continually is actually raising money to go on her next trip and make a huge impact. She's actually been on, if you guys know what KTLA 5 is,
Yep.
she was actually on TV. It's pretty awesome to actually see her grow. Good Morning America, Good Morning San Diego, Everyday Extraordinary Women, and she was recently seen on T Radio V and Stepping Up Live, Love Thrive podcast, and interviewed on Outspoken Women. So she's done a lot of good things, and she's been on TV. So if you guys want to work with a breakthrough coach, she is the one. She has a successful background in sales and marketing. She's wrote and produced books, and then today she's extremely serious about stepping up her visibility barriers and overcoming obstacles and holding back. So how many of you guys would like to try to, overcome your obstacles?
Yeah.
And learn from somebody today. Well, let's all get on our feet and give an exciting welcome to Michelle Dewsbury.
Somebody, how do I turn this thing off? Thank you. How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Good. Oh, wow. It got really loud all of a sudden. Well, like Boo said, my name is Michelle Dewsbury, and I am here today to share my story with you, to talk with you about some of the obstacles that I've had in my life, and to help other people have tremendous breakthroughs. So first off, I want to thank Bill Walsh for putting me on stage and allowing me to share this message with you. Powerteam International, Vutran for introducing me, and all the wonderful speakers that we've heard today, and we have a couple more after me as well. So, first question I want to ask is, how many of you have experienced obstacles in your life? How many of you are still experiencing those obstacles in your life? And how many of you are not going to raise your hand no matter what I ask? Well, here's a funny slide for you. Does this look about familiar? All of us trying to jump over hoops and obstacles and have breakthroughs in our life, but we don't know how. So Vu messed with my PowerPoint, so it's, we'll get the butt here soon in a minute. I'm here today to share a little bit about my story. And is it okay if I share part of my story with you? Yes. So I was born in and I was born to two loving parents in Sandpoint, Idaho. My mom and my dad worked hard. My dad was in the military. My mom worked as a waitress. And at 7 years old, I was taken from my mommy and my daddy. And I had no idea why. I didn't see my mom or my dad for 4 months. And when I was away from them, I didn't even get to speak to my mom. I internalized a lot of the reason why I wasn't with mommy and daddy anymore. And I blamed myself. Maybe me as a child, maybe I did something wrong and I triggered them. Maybe I caused them to ship me off to my grandparents' house. What did I do? I saw my dad one time during this 4-month period, and it was during Christmas. And I remember me and my brother would hold on to my daddy with our blankets in tow. And, Daddy, don't leave. We miss you. 4 months later, we were reunited with my mom and my dad. And that experience had some huge implications on my life and my brother's life. I actually began having nightmares shortly after that and started to internalize the meaning of why I was taken away from my family, thinking it was my fault. So what did I do? I made sure that I was on my best behavior. I made sure that I would never cause mommy and daddy to get rid of me again. So I excelled. I did very well academically, graduated with double honors, and began a career in the restaurant industry. I started off as a hostess, worked my way to a server, and then a bartender and manager. How many people here have been in the restaurant industry? I'm sure quite a few of us, because we're in the Hollywood area, and a lot of people here work as a waitress or a bartender while we're pursuing other dreams we have. Well, I did really, really well, but I knew that there was something inside of me that I wanted to do. So I decided to move to California to become an actress. Woohoo! Woohoo! I love acting. I've always loved being on stage. I love performing and being able to tell other people's stories. Well, during the process of me in the restaurant industry and me moving to California to pursue an acting career, I met this cute, blue-eyed, nice behind man who I thought was going to be my Prince Charming, the one and only person that I would spend the rest of my life with. 4 months into that relationship, my head went through the wall. I had no idea what this meant. I had no idea that this could potentially be the beginning of a domestic violence relationship. I didn't comprehend the severity of the situation or where it could end up. I remember that afternoon I had actually triggered him. We'll call him Paul. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
I had actually triggered him, at least that's what he had told me. We were at lunch, at brunch, and I had said something and made a joke that he didn't like. So then he began drinking heavily. And this was brunch, by the way, so at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he was pretty intoxicated. We get back to the house, and we get into some bicker and arguments, and he pushes me so hard against the drywall that my head bounces. And my head bounced so hard that it caused a significant dent. And I remember his buddy was in the living room, and this altercation happened in the bedroom. And as soon as Paul left the bedroom, and I just kind of touched the back of my head, felt the little bump, and then looked at the wall, I walked into the living room and asked his buddy, "Hey, bro, will you help me patch the hole in the bedroom?" And he said, "Sure." We patched it and never talked about the incident again. That was the very beginning of the situation. 10 months into the relationship, I received a 4-hour-long beating. This was during Halloween, so we decided to go to a party and hang out with a lot of his buddies and his friends. And they were my acquaintances as friends as well, because he had isolated me and I was up north with no friends or family of my own. And of course, drinks began flowing, and we were having a good old time. Decided that we needed to stay the night at this hotel, the resort. So we bunked with a couple of our friends and decided to stay, and then the party continued on the roof. So I was surrounded by a bunch of people talking and laughing and having a good time, and he was looking in on what I was doing. And then came up to me and said, "We're leaving right now." And I'm like, "What did I do? What's wrong?" "I saw you, you're flirting with them." So he drugged me by my arm, had me grab my things, and I remember following him down the gravel path into the parking structure where our car was parked. I sat in the passenger seat, stoic and quiet, thinking that that might pacify his temper. Well, we swerved in and out of the 101 freeway, in and out of cars, and we got to the house. And I remember I was just going to stay quiet so nothing would happen. He got out of the driver's seat and walked around to the passenger seat and opened the door and drug me out by my hair. And then all of a sudden led me into the house. And he didn't want to fumble with keys ever, so we always left the house unlocked because he thought that it was safe. Threw me in, and I remember stumbling and looking back, and he slammed the door, and I looked at his beautiful eyes that were now black. He came at me, strangled me, spit on me, punched holes in the wall, and kicked holes in the drywall. And Paul's favorite tactic was to strangle me with his left hand, and with his right hand he would put in my mouth and press so vigorously under my tongue that I would bleed. I broke free from him and stumbled to the ground, and I remember I said, "God, please forgive him. He doesn't know what he's doing." And Paul then looked at me and said, "God isn't going to help you now." That same evening, I broke free from him again, and I started running down the road, but I could hear him behind me. And he caught up to me, grabbed me by my hair, and pulled me down. And I was sobbing and weeping. Why? And he begged me, "Shh, just be quiet. We'll go back to the house and talk." He led me back to the house and shut the door, and the onslaught continued. By the time he started to awaken from his blackout drunkenness, I think he realized what he was doing. At this time, I was covered in blood and black and blue. He had put me in the shower with him, rinsed the blood out of my mouth and off of my body. And then he laid me on the bed and held my hand. And I think he held my hand thinking I wouldn't run away. And the next morning, after dozing in and out of consciousness, I woke up, opened my eyes, and my face looked like I was in a 10-round boxing match. And he looked at me and began to cry. "Michelle, I am so sorry." And cry and weep. "Please forgive me. I promise I will never do it again." Of course, it happened again, and it happened again, and it happened again. When I finally broke free from that situation, I began to write. Now, I had no idea the severity of what I had endured, but when I started writing and documenting things that happened to me, I began to realize, oh my gosh, this is really bad. I then found out and realized that I had to do something, because this happens to so many people all over the world, and it should never happen to anybody. My writing therapy. I wrote and performed a one-woman show called But I Loved Him. Debuted that at one of the largest solo festivals on the West Coast called the White Fire Solo Fest with a nearly sold-out audience. I then performed it at the Hollywood Fringe Festival, and at the end of the show and the performance, a pin could drop and you could hear it. I was starting to impact a lot of people. I knew I had to do more. I then started a nonprofit organization called Unsilenced Voices, where we help survivors of domestic violence and sexual abuse, and now we're getting into sex trafficking worldwide. Right now we're in Ghana and Sierra Leone, Africa, expanding to Nepal, and also expanding here to the LA area. That's a picture of me with some of the women in Ghana, me dancing with some of the kids in Sierra Leone. I started to realize that my story was too big not to share with the world, just like everybody's story here. How many people here know that your story can impact thousands of people? I knew mine could too. I then wrote my memoir, and published it. I'm a published author on Amazon.com. My book is called But I Love Him, same title as my play. And it's my personal experience in a domestic violence relationship. But during writing this, I started to realize that everything that I used to overcome domestic violence, to overcome my abandonment issues when I was growing up, could be also used in business and everyday life and productivity, having even more fun, even more success. So I then developed a coaching program. Oh, I guess I'm ahead of myself. So this is me on KTLA, Good Morning San Diego. And this is my coaching program. So my team and I have developed a coaching program called Overcoming Obstacles, where we teach you easy steps to recognizing your toughest obstacles and how to break through them. This is definitely not a free course, and I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. We are only looking to work with people who are ready to work for themselves. We want to work with people who want to take that next step in life. And sitting here in the room today, we're only looking for about 1 or 2 of you. The Overcoming Obstacles program is 1 easy payment of $29.99 or 3 simple payments of $11.97. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think most people get stuck in life? Come on, crowd involvement.
Fear.
Regrets. What else? Fear. Anything else?
No plan.
No plan. All of those are correct. What I would like to do is talk about some of the reasons why people get stuck. Paul Arden once said, if you get stuck, draw with a different pen and change your tools. It may free your thinking. Overcoming obstacles is that tool that comes in and helps you so you can draw with a different pen and change the trajectory of your life and have even more fun, even more success, even more financial wealth. Henry Ford, everybody know who Henry Ford is?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off of your goal. How many people have ever taken your eyes off of your goal and said, I wish I would have? We help you so you stay on track, so you can accomplish those goals. I would love to talk about some of the stumbling blocks that people encounter when trying to move forward in life and business. Is that okay? Yes? Yes. Come on, liven up, everybody. We're at a workshop. All right. So, first one, procrastination. How many people here have ever procrastinated in your life? I'm sure everybody, and there's just a handful of people here are just not into crowd participation. Procrastination will kill you. How many people here have ever binge watched television? Right? So one of my favorite shows is Game of Thrones, which don't tell me the last one because I haven't watched it yet. But I remember when I went through a struggle, I sat down and binge watched all of the seasons in a month. Now, do you think that I had any productivity in my business or personal life during that time? No, definitely not, because I procrastinated, because I was in mourning, because I decided that I wanted to sit and dwell on my circumstances. Procrastination will stop you from moving forward with the things that you want to do. Overcoming obstacles teaches you how to structure your time, how to make plans, how to increase productivity so you don't get stuck in procrastination. Your bosses sometimes say on Friday at 3 o'clock, hey, you guys have a report that's going to be due Monday morning at 9 a.m. And how many people wait until Sunday night to write it? A lot. We teach you how to move forward and take the initiative right from the beginning so you can enjoy your weekend. So you don't have this rock stuck back there thinking about what you have to get done in business. Another one is self-doubt. Who has ever doubted yourself? right? We've all doubted ourselves at some point in life. How many people have listened to naysayers or neighbors say, you can't do that? Michelle, what are you thinking? How many people have family members who say, that's stupid, you're never going to achieve that goal? Self-doubt is something that we help you overcome by giving you the resources necessary, including books. How many people have ever read Think and Grow Rich? If you haven't, you need to. Think and Grow Rich is an amazing book by Napoleon Hill. I'm currently reading a book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill and Sharon Lechter. Amazing books to help you overcome some of that self-doubt, because what you believe will happen. So if you believe that you can't succeed, if you believe you can't do it, then you're not going to be able to do it. No matter if it's more wealth, no matter if it's growing your business to a multi-million-dollar level, or just having more fun with your friends and family. Time management. Now, this is the #1 stumbling block that a lot of our clients come to me with. I don't have enough time, Michelle. If I had more time in the day, I could do so much more. Well, would you? We all have the same 24-hour period. We all have 24 hours in the day to succeed with our dreams. Nobody gets any more. Time is the one thing you never can get back. Now, how many people actually schedule fun in their lives? Everybody should be raising your hand. What we teach is that fun matters, that some things that, for example, Bill Walsh oftentimes says that you have to check out in order to check back in. You need to focus on yourself, just like Connie was saying, self-love. You need to focus on family, and you need to focus on God. And then from there, you can focus on your business and growth. We teach you how to have a calendar system and to follow through. How many people here make lists? Well, lists aren't going to get you anywhere unless you actually schedule a time to accomplish those lists. Resources. Now, how many here have lacked the money or the resources to achieve some of your dreams, right? Yeah, we all have. Bill Walsh often says, who's $1 million short of your advertising? We all are, right? So we all need resources. Let me give you a couple of resources here. Does anybody know what this is?
Yep.
QR. So this is actually readable. So anybody here who has an iPhone can actually hold up your iPhone, use the picture. Don't take a picture of it. Just hold your camera to it. And then on the very top, my information will come up. Everybody get it? Yep, my information will come up. Now you have my contact info. Oh, there's a couple people still doing it, so I'll let you do it before I move on to the next slide. Right here, goqr.me is where you can also make that yourself for free. Our obstacles fuel our future. Where is your future taking you? These are some resources that you can use to move your life forward. Your intellectual property. The thing that is in between your ears is your most productive and financially viable object that you have. We teach you how to use your intellectual property and how to monetize your intellectual property. You need to read. I've already mentioned a couple of books. Another one of my favorite authors is John Maxwell. Failing Forward is one of my favorite books because you have to fail so many times, which is actually learning, before you succeed. You need mentors and you need coaches. My mentor is the amazing Bill Walsh you see behind you, who you're going to hear from later today. Coaches. I've had a couple of different coaches in my life, being my director of my play, being my therapist, being friends and random coaches that I've met along the way. I used to do Amway, so I've had many coaches. You need to be enrolled in programs. You have to enroll yourself into things that improve your self-esteem, improve your self-growth, your self-worth, programs. You need to delegate things. So, for example, me, I thought that I was a graphic designer. Am I a graphic designer? Well, I found out the hard way. I would spend 3 hours doing postcards, thinking that they were the greatest things in the world, and then realized that was 3.5 hours of my time. I could have been spent doing something else. So I gave the project to an actual graphic designer, and they did the same thing in 15 minutes. So I guess I'm not a graphic designer. Leverage other people's platforms. What that means is that you go on stage, for example, with other people. You uplift other people and use their platforms, their social media platforms. When you post on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, make sure you tag people who are influential in your life and the lives of people around you. Now, how many people here have ever wanted to write a book? Come on, everybody's hand should be up, unless you're already a published author. So these are 2 tools that I use to help people accomplish that goal. How many of you know that you can actually write a book and publish it on Amazon for less than $100? Right? So if you go to canva.com, you can actually get a book cover, design a whole book cover for free, and then post on social media, hey, look, this is my new book coming out. Anybody heard of rev.com? Rev.com is a transcription service. So anybody who has any media, whether it be YouTube channels, whether it be podcasts, whether it be your tape recorder when you were in college saying the difference between the nature-nurture controversy and psychology is whatever it is that you have, you can send in to rev.com and they will actually transcribe it for you for $1 a minute. So say you have a 60-minute podcast that you want transcribed, $60. And then you get everything back in written form and you just compile it. And there's your book. You guys might be wondering why I do what I do. I've had accomplishments from business success in restaurants to nonprofit work. I want to coach other people because I know that what I've experienced can be used to help others in no matter what obstacle you're facing. My mom is my why. This is me and my mama having a cocktail. Now she looks young and we look like we're having a lot of fun. But just 1 month ago, I was called by the doctors and I spoke to my mom on the phone. She had no idea who I was. She luckily came out of that. But I know that I have to work my tail end off now so I can spend time with that woman before she leaves me. My daddy's already gone. My dad died 4 years ago. So she is my life. And then that's my brother and I. Isn't that a fun picture? He is my life as well. My brother means the world to me. My brother is going through a lot of hard times in his life. And if we work together, I can share some of those situations with you as well. But I want to be that role model in his life, that person who encourages him to break through his obstacles so he can have an even greater life. These are some of the people in Sierra Leone. These are the girls that we sponsor in Sierra Leone, go through vocational training school so they don't have to sell their bodies on the street any longer. They learn a skill and then they can sell their products instead of selling their bodies. These are some of the women in Ghana that we help. That is my why. What is yours? Some of the results that our clients see is having even more financial freedom, spending even more time with your friends and family. One of our clients actually came to me just last month and called me and said, Michelle, you were right. And I said, I was right about what? She said, you are right. By using these steps, I now am seeing productivity and money in my modeling career. She wanted to be a model, but she was facing a lot of challenges. There are so many different results. How many people here want to spend more time with your kids? Or get rid of your kids and go on vacation? We help you to have even more vacations, even more fun in your life. I would love to go over what this comprehensive coaching program includes. So you get an initial 90-minute consultation with me, where we go over some of your biggest setbacks, some of your biggest obstacles that you have, that you're facing in life. We figure out a plan, customized just for you. It's a custom-built package based on what you are experiencing. No two people are alike, so no two people should have the same type of program, right? You get 2 60 to 90-minute personal phone calls with me per month. It's a 3-month program. You also get 2 60-minute group phone calls. So you will also be on the phone with other people, other clients who are taking this program, and it will be with either me or somebody in our team. And we will discover some of the things that work and some of the things that aren't working, and figure out how to have breakthroughs. You can kind of think of this as more of a mastermind, twice per month for 3 months. You receive guidance and feedback and clarity during all your work sessions. You get email and text support from me. Now, if it's an emergency and you text me at 3 a.m., I'll respond. But if it's not an emergency and you text me at 3 a.m., I'm going to be like, we need to talk about your time management skills. You're provided with all the notes and resources that you need, any applicable homework before and after your sessions. Now, homework scares people sometimes. Homework means that we give you tasks like reading 15 minutes a day. How many people actually read 15 minutes a day? Good. There's a handful of you in here that do. Most people don't pick up a book after they graduate college. That's scary. You learn how to improve your self-worth, change your old habits, and gain the confidence you need to have even greater outcomes in your life. This comprehensive package is valued at $10,000. So today, we're giving it to you for only $29.99 or 3 easy payments of $11.97. Now, if this makes sense to you, I'm going to be taking a break here in the next moment. You can ask me questions in the back. We've got a team back there. Vu is going to be my team today. And I've got worksheets already put back there for you. And if this already makes sense to you, please stand up and go in the back. We're only looking for 1 to 2 of you. So if this doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. We have people we want to work with. We have people already in the program. We have people already who are changing their lives. But if this does sound like you, please don't wait. If you're still sitting in your seats, which it looks like you all are, I want to throw in a couple of bonuses. So I'm also going to give you a 6-week webinar. This webinar goes over some of the most basic obstacles that you have to overcome and how to break through them. And then I'm also going to throw in the obstacle breakthrough program. It's this. It's a 3 CD set, and it talks about the 5 easy steps to recognizing your toughest obstacles and how to break through them, winning strategies to achieve even greater outcomes, and how to manage time even more effectively while having even more fun. Who wants to have more fun? Woohoo! 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 What is stopping you from taking action for your life? You are the most important person in your life. If you don't take action, who's going to take action for you? Who's going to take action for your family? When is a good time to take action? Now. Right now. Because if you wait, then you're going to keep waiting the rest of your life. I want to thank you, and before I go, I would love to offer a complimentary book. So raise your hand real fast if you want a book. You raise your hand first. There you go. That is my book, But I Love Him, and it's my experience and how I've been able to use a lot of these strategies to overcome really tough situations in my life. We're going to be taking another break, I believe another 10-minute break. I will be in the back to answer any of your questions, to go over any of your concerns that you may have. And again, I want to thank you very much for allowing me to speak and share my story.
Keep it up.
If you guys haven't signed up for the VIP lunch back there too, go ahead and just work your way back there. Take a 10-minute break.
Woohoo!
That's it. Powerful.
How do I turn this on? Oh, right here. There we go.